Hey there, crafty friends. I'm trying to squeeze in one more Christmas project before the season is officially done. So I started off with this 5-inch wood round plaque from Hobby Lobby. They're in the wood pile section. They come in a pack of 2, and I'm giving it 2 coats of golden brown from Craft Smart from Michaels. So this wooden round is pretty rough. It required a lot of sanding before painting and in between coats and after painting. Um, Once the 2 coats were fully dry, I did add some white speckles, sort of like the fly specks, with some watered down acrylic paint and 2 brushes. I just put some on one brush and then I tapped the brush against the other brush to get the little white speckles and give it just a nice textured look. I threaded these little red beads onto some jute for a hanger, and I used a staple gun to staple the hanger to the back of the wooden round. So I think I did like 8 beads on each hanger, and I wasn't trying to completely cover all the jute. I just wanted to add just a whimsical touch with the little beads. So here I'm adding some white rickrack trim around the face of the gingerbread ornament, and I use tacky glue to glue the trim around the face. I don't like to use hot glue for this because um, it just it's not a very I don't like the hot glue looking. You can see the hot glue like under your trim. So I really prefer using tacky glue for this sort of project. And I'm just using a toothpick to clean up any glue that kind of oozes out. And I'll go all the way around. Well, mostly all the way around. I do leave a little spot empty for gluing the bow to the wood round. And I wanted to mention that this rickrack is half an inch thick or half an inch wide, and I had gotten that from Joann's, but you can find that at Hobby Lobby as well. So now I'm here trying to paint on the nose, and for the nose you can see that other ornament that I painted there on top. It's kind of an ombre effect, so I start off with a dark brown paint, and this is Java by Folk Art, and then I have some white paint and I paint the top of the nose, and it's just a lot of back and forth blending to get the 2 colors to just blend and just create a little bit of an ombre effect. So you have to do this while your paint is wet, and I do use 2 paint brushes. The paint mixes on my brushes and it's okay. It's just that's how I achieve the ombre effect. I just kind of go further in with the brown, and then I go further in with the white, and then I blend the 2 colors. So it's a lot of back and forth, as you will see here. And I feel comfortable kind of painting from left to right, so that's why you'll see me kind of turning my wood around back and forth. So when you're painting, you just find what feels most comfortable for you. So here I am just trying to blend. If I have too much white, then I'll get my brown and back and forth. So this just gives a little bit of darker shading on the bottom of the nose and then white on the top, like some highlights on the top, or maybe it's like his little frosted nose on the top. I just like the way it looks. So I'm not a great painter or anything, but this is just what I found it works for me. So just a lot of back and forth to get everything to blend nicely. So I was working on an order actually for these ornaments. So you'll see at the end I'll have 6 ornaments. That's why I have so many materials here. And I have bows. I didn't record myself making the bows for these, but they were just a simple bow using a 1.5-inch wired ribbon. And I add those as little bow ties. I made 5 gingerbread boys and 1 gingerbread girl. So for the girl, the little bow was like on top of her head. But here we are, just finishing up the nose with this ombre effect. So once I was happy with the nose, I used a black Posca paint pen to draw the rest of the face. So I did 2 ovals for the eyes. And for the eyes, even though I'm using a paint pen, that too can be a lot of back and forth to make sure that they look pretty much the same size and that they look even. So here I am just trying to get a nice oval. And then I do the second eye, fill it in with the paint pen. And sometimes with eyes you get one that looks a little bit bigger, so then you try to even it out. So it's just a lot of back and forth sometimes. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, see if I like it, see if they look even to me. So sometimes with these things, I feel like you fix one eye, then the other eye doesn't look right. So it's just, with these sorts of things, I think you just have to give yourself some grace. So now I'm going to add the cheeks. So what I do is I use red, and I believe this was a holiday red from Craft Smart. And I use a little sponge dauber. This is about 1/2 inch in diameter for the little dauber. So I just loaded it up with paint, and then I know I didn't get it in the frame, but I loaded up the sponge with some paint. Then I try to unload it so it's not too much paint. And then I just dab it onto the cheek. And I have 1 dauber for white paint and 1 for red. And what I like to do is do a mix. So I'll do 1 dab with the red, and then I'll do another dab with the white. And then if it needs more red, then I add more red. If it needs more white, then I'll add more white. And it just kind of blends into like this sort of like, it gives me kind of like a powdered sugared look that I think is really cute. And then I just do a little squiggly mouth for his smile. And once that paint is all dry, I go in with the white Posca paint pen and just add some little sparkles to the eyes. So I usually just do 2 dots and then 2 little highlights. So I try to keep the face simple. Like I said, I'm not an artist or anything, but I try my best with these little faces. And then this is his little bow tie, so I'll just use hot glue to adhere it to the ornament. So there he is with his little dapper bow tie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick little tutorial, and I would appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel for more crafty ideas. And I'll see you next time.